I went to law school with the Clintons, and you can ask me during the question period whether he inhaled. They now say we have gone over 4 million listeners. 30% of those listeners identify themselves as Democrats, which shows that there is hope out there. When they throw shoes at the American embassy, don't give them back. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And another great day in this greatest nation on God's green earth. That statement at the beginning of an hour of broadcasting would become controversial. But then people will call in and they say, how can you dare call America the greatest nation on earth? The United States of America was based upon slaughter of the Native Americans, and the United States of America gives too much power to big business and oppresses ordinary people. I thought it was important to take on some of these distortions, some of these smears, and to try to correct them, to provide people with the information and the arguments they needed to defend the country and to defend the truth against America bashers. This lie that says that the only proper way to deal with poverty or with economic downturns is by government programs, which means government spending, is at the very, very heart of this idea of a $1 trillion stimulus package. The idea of making people dependent on government is bad for people, it is bad for morality, and it is bad for the economy. Roosevelt used the crisis of the Great Depression to remake America in a socialist, statist, collectivist direction. He used to say on it, had a picture of Uncle Sam, said, he's your uncle, not your dad. And today they should really say, he's your uncle, not your mommy. America is much more normal. Things are much better today, and much less requiring this huge restructuring of everything. It is crucial to stand up against the attempt to grow government. The lie that says America is an imperialist nation and a constant threat to world peace. Okay, do the Bedford Falls experiment. Imagine that the United States in the 20th century didn't exist. And imagine what the world would be like. The only question is whether the world would be living under fascist or communist tyranny. There is not a chance in the world of the defeat of Adolf Hitler, and there's not a chance in the world of the defeat of world communism. If we were such a big, brutal imperialist power, why would Canada continue to exist? We have the habit of doing exactly what we've done in Iraq. We sacrifice, we liberate, and we go home. That's what Americans do. The last lie that I write about in the 10 Big Lies About America is the lie that says that the United States is in the midst of an irreversible moral decline. The first pronouncement that I could find about the end of American civilization was at the beginning of American civilization. And Jonathan Edwards talking about this is the worst and most lowly generation in the history of the world. This is the generation that does the American Revolution and writes the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution a few years later. It's very, very clear that the generation that won the war between the states and freed 3 million American slaves, that generation was greater than the immediate previous generation that punted on the issue of slavery and pretty much everything else. Nothing is irreversible for Americans. We have had at least 3 major religious revivals in this country that have changed everything. The 1930s was a much worse period morally in terms of divorce rate than the 1950s. All of a sudden in the 1950s, people came home from World War II and they got serious. We can do it again. And what's the relevance to the Republican Party? The Republican future depends on it. Those people can believe what they want. Those of us who live here know better about our country and know better what we're about in the world at large. And here's the little secret. more people abroad appreciate the United States than you would guess from the mass media. Ronald Reagan talked all the time about the more government, the less freedom. The less government, the more freedom. The Republican Party has always been the party of freedom. One nation, clad in the armor of a righteous cause, is more powerful than all the hosts of the United Nothing in New York City. The other big group that voted overwhelmingly Republican, people who are married, women who are unattached, voted for Barack Obama almost 3-1. Okay, so what do we have to do? Get those women married. Find somebody for them. If there are any single men present here tonight, it is time for you to do your duty for your country and for your party. Long-term horizon, belief in God, belief in country. That's the future for the Republican Party. If we can all go to church and synagogue more often, if we can all do what we can to get married, stay married, and take care of those single people among us, we will have the opportunity for great victories for our party, and in the future, great victories for this greatest nation on God's green earth. Thank you very much for your attention.